In the social jungle of human existence, there's no feeling of being alive without a sense of identity. Phantasmagoria 2, A Puzzle of Flesh, is a PC game centered around this idea. The story heavily focuses on the horror of identity, what we are inside, and sometimes even more horrifyingly, what we might not be.
One minute, I knew who I was, and then the next minute, I had no idea. It's hard to explain, but my identity just came apart like old rotten lace.
The game came out in 1996, and I'm going to tell you about the shocking way that it was ahead of its time. It does share some similar themes with the first game, but it is very much its own thing. Now, Phantasmagoria 2 is a sequel by name, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the previous entry, so if you're not familiar with the first game, fear not. This is due to the fact that Roberta Williams of the first game was simply not interested in working on a sequel. This game is written instead by a Lorelei Shannon, who has a very different and distinct horror style. That style, at least in this game, is much, much more adult in nature. In the first Phantasmagoria, there was an option to censor the more inappropriate scenes, which brought the game down to about a PG-13 rating. There really is no amount of censorship that could bring A Puzzle of Flesh to a place where it could be considered appropriate for non-adult audiences. The game did come with parental locks and alternate versions of certain scenes, but that still wasn't enough for a lot of countries that outright banned it despite the censorship. I'm looking at you, Australia. I have to mention you in every video. Now, in fairness, like I said, this game isn't really possible to censor. The core of the game itself is simply mature. So I do get why the censored mode of the game didn't cut it. It may have plucked out a nipple or two, but it doesn't change the story. This game is an exploration of identity, and sexual identity is very much included. This is a very good time for me to mention that I do have a Ko-fi if you wanted to support the channel, because I have a feeling Mama's about to get demonetized. Obviously, things won't get more graphic here than YouTube allows, but be forewarned that this is a particularly adult-themed game that very much goes into taboo, disturbing, and sexual topics. If you've been around the channel before, this is nothing new. We freaky. Also, if you'd like to know more about the game, please check out the Conversations with Curtis YouTube channel, where the original actor for Curtis, the protagonist of the game, makes content with other people involved in making the game. It's a really cool channel. Please look at this pumpkin I purchased for the Halloween season. It has a butt crack. And now, a quick word from this video's sponsor, Manta Sleep.
Oh geez, my eyes are all red and weary from a lack of sleep. It's so bright in my crypt.
My friend, you need a Manta Sleep mask and accessories.
It's so dark. But what about all the noise the other skeletons make playing their rib cages like xylophones all night?
You're in luck. That quality, comfortable Manta Sleep sound mask has built-in razor-thin Bluetooth headphones, comfortable to wear in any sleeping position. And what you're looking at here is the sparkly new updated version. It's highly adjustable and has a premium feel. Or, if you'd prefer, you could always try the Manta Sleep white noise machine for some soothing sounds. My personal favorite to sleep to is the rain white noise setting.
Wow, thank goodness I heard about all of these fantastic Manta products. Now I can sleep like the dead. Thanks, Manta!
You're welcome, Mr. Skeleton, and if anyone else is out there wishing for a good night's sleep, be sure to check out Manta Sleep products. Below the video, you'll see some of these products listed in the YouTube shopping section. Any products purchased here will directly support the channel and your sleep. Be sure to use coupon code EARLY for 10% off at checkout. What do you think about that, Mr. Skeleton? Alright, buckle up, it's Phantasmagoria 2 time. In the opening scene, a man on a stretcher is being rushed into a room with staff frantically waving around needles and straps. Everything is chaotic, the music is loud, the camera is shaking, people are sweating.
Can you hear me? Curtis, you're having a psychotic episode. We're going to help you.
Allow me to translate. We're going to help you actually means shock him, boys.
Clear.
1 year after the psychotic episode, our protagonist, Curtis Craig, wakes up for a mundane day of work. He's not particularly thrilled about it, and he seems a little bit worn out.
Oh, big purple bags under the eyes. Very attractive.
Around Curtis's apartment, there are some things that you can check out, and some of them you can take a look at daily. There's some pictures on the wall, and they are most definitely for sure the dev team. You can learn a lot about someone from looking around their living space, and it appears that Curtis is a well-read individual.
I've read every book I own at least twice.
All in all, Curtis seems like a pretty normal and soft-spoken, gentle guy. But the best part of his house is his cool roommate.
Hey, morning, Blob. How's it going today, huh? Hey, how are you? Building a little house in there, huh?
Curtis's wallet has gone missing. The first puzzle of the game is to locate it, and it's one of the more common criticisms that gets brought up about this game. Allow me to tell you why. Blob may be cute, but don't let her fool you. She is an agent of chaos.
Oh, there's my wallet. Blob?
So here's the criticism. Curtis can't reach the wallet. You don't go looking for something to extend his arm. You don't simply move the couch.
You stole my wallet. Admit it.
You stuff the rat under the couch, go on a quest to find a granola bar, and then trade the creature a crumb of delicious human sustenance in exchange for the wallet. So basically just peak puzzle game behavior. If you try to leave the apartment before putting Blob back in her house, Curtis is like, fuck, whoopsie doodle, I can't take a rat to work because he's a coward. Take the rat. When Curtis does finally arrive at his work, there are a few things to notice. Number 1, his ID card does not grant him access to all of the building. Number 2, the job is clearly boring, mundane office work. The most exciting thing near his cubicle is the old watering hole that I clicked every chance I got to stay hydrated. Number 3, there's this weird freaky tiny little door in one of the side rooms. Clearly it's gotta be important for some reason. The whole wallet debacle caused Curtis to be a little bit late for work, and the bestest boy in the office, no really, Trevor is the best character, I love him, berates him a little bit for it.
Well, good morning, Sleeping Beauty. Well, were you up too late watching Beavis and Butthead, or organizing your stamp collection?
Actually, I was up early this morning. My rat stole my wallet.
Trevor is like, yeah, a likely story. I don't believe that, idiot. I have a social life, and I was at a club all night dancing, and I still woke up on time, lazy bones. The two joke around for a while, and they're clearly very close with each other and are on good terms. It's always nice to have a work bestie. Now it's time to take a look-see at Curtis's workstation. On his desk, of course, is a giant photo of Blob. Very important for productivity. To get to know some of the characters better, you can call them at their cubicles. Paul Warner, the owner of Wintech and your boss, is kind of a condescending douche. Trevor goofs around and talks about the previous night's date with some dude and fires shots.
So, what about you? Have you found some devastating sorority girl to snuggle up and watch with, or are you spending your usual evening alone with a can of Crisco?
Bite me, weasel dick.
Tom is your manager who is not currently at his desk. Jocelyn sounds kind of like she and Curtis have something going on. He straight up refuses to talk to some guy named Bob, and calling a woman named Therese has him all flabbergasted and befuddled, and he can't seem to function.
This is gonna sound really lame, but I just forgot why I called you.
That's okay. You can call me anytime you want, Curtis. Bye now.
You can even do fun little things like having Curtis call himself.
Hello, Curtis Craig. This is Ed McMahon. You've just won $10 bazillion. Mr. Craig, please. Mr. Craig, stop it. Your squealing has become painful. Have some dignity, man.
If you get bored of calling your coworkers, you can simply get up and walk over to their desks. Bob, the guy Curtis refused to call because he dislikes him, is, well, they're at odds.
Forget it, rat boy. They wouldn't help you anyway. We both know that I'm the one that's gonna get that big promotion, so, piss off.
Hey, Bob. You taking the same date to the Christmas party this year? I figure she'll give you a discount now that she's turned 60.
Kiss my ass.
Ouch, what a devastatingly witty retort.
The manager, Todd, is actually really nice, helpful, and considerate of his team's needs, and willing to give praise, which is how you know that this is a video game and not a real office.
Thanks.
Oh, Curtis. Nice work.
Checking in with Jocelyn at her cubicle confirms my suspicions that there is a little bit of office romance afoot.
You scared me, Curtis.
Oh, you weren't too scared of me last night, now were you?
Last night was so...
On to the next cubicle for a morsel of decadent office drama. Curtis has been receiving some flirty notes and even a saucy postcard. He shows it to Therese.
Looks like someone's got a crush on you.
Yeah, well...
Would you like to know a secret? It's from me.
Good lord, Curtis is up to his ears in blonde women. Therese, please. Curtis was just making out with Jocelyn, not but 5 feet away. No, please, you temptress. You can't seduce him by throwing a tiny paper cup betwixt his thighs. No man can resist that.
I like you, Curtis.
To add to the whole spectacle, Curtis doesn't really seem to fully appreciate Jocelyn as much as he could.
Hi, sweetie.
Shh.
Oh, Curtis, why? Why all the secrecy? Are you ashamed of me or something?
No, of course not. I just don't want everybody knowing our business, that's all.
This entire segment of the game is literally just going from coworker to coworker and talking to them about shit. You can show Jocelyn some pictures. One of them includes her and she's like, "Oh my god, Curtis, I can't believe you allowed someone to take a picture of us together in public." Which is weird to say about the guy you're dating. I guess Curtis is just a giant walking red flag. But you can also show her a picture of Curtis's parents, and I genuinely can't tell if how she responds is supposed to be an insult because she's otherwise so nice, but either way, it's really funny.
Your father is pretty sexy. You know, you look a lot like your mother.
Oh yeah, your dad's really fucking hot. You look like your mom. The water cooler let me click it again. Hydration break! Showing the photo of Curtis's parents to Trevor results in further hilarity.
No, you look a lot like your ma. Your eyes.
Trevor regularly tries to invite Curtis out clubbing, but Curtis really isn't into it at all. Showing Trevor an office Christmas party photo reveals just how different Curtis and Trevor's personalities are.
Do you remember that party at all?
No, it's all a blur of white rum, hot music, and really bad food. Damn good thing you're a perpetual designated driver.
Yeah, that's me. The sobriety poster child.
You know, I do seem to remember Bob blowing cheese on the dance floor, though.
You can also talk to Trevor about the fact that his clearance within the company is higher than Curtis's. Curtis asks him if he's ever been to any of the forbidden or restricted areas of the office building, to which Trevor replies,
No way, man. And I don't want to. Boy, they're probably like breeding 2-ton hamsters down there or something, man.
Curtis can sneak into the CEO's office, which, by the way, is full of dead animals. This gets Curtis caught red-handed skulking around in one of the drawers. Paul Warner is immediately massively suspicious and is like, dude, what the fuck, get out of here. Curtis sits back down at his desk and is like, I should probably maybe actually do my job, but that's when things get weird. It's okay, Curtis. My computer often punches me in the face and calls me a freak too. Now, he really did get hurt and he's feeling kind of freaked out. The whole debacle just came out of nowhere, which means it's time to call Trevor for some emotional support.
Trevor Barnes.
Hey, Trev. Listen, I was wondering, have you seen anything weird today?
Just your freaky ass.
Yeah, well, okay. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Wait a minute, you're serious? Hey, what's wrong, bud?
These conversations with Trevor are important because while we usually see him being more of a goofball, the second he realizes Curtis is actually stressed, his tone immediately changes.
Jesus, what happened to your face?
What if I said I don't know? Shit, Trev, I think I'm going nuts.
Curtis, what happened? And what, did somebody hit you or something?
I swear to God, I was just sitting at my desk and, somebody slugged me, but there was nobody there. That sounds nuts, doesn't it? That's just totally psycho.
No, of course not. Hey, remember when I got the flu and I thought Dolly Parton was in the closet with a chainsaw?
Brother, what? Therese, on the other hand, hits Curtis with some hippie shit like, yes, we are surrounded by things that we cannot see, unless we go looking for them, as if that means anything. And poor Bob he just gets flipped off. Despite his coworkers trying to help him feel a bit better, Curtis remains on edge. He starts to have more strange encounters. But you know how adult life goes, whether you're being haunted, possessed, or having a psychotic episode, there's always work to be done. And a lot of Curtis's work revolves around checking emails. He's got messages regarding work stuff that pertains to Wintech. For example, information on some of the drugs they're working on manufacturing, and even celebration of winning lawsuits where their medications may have potentially hurt someone. All of this professional business is interrupted by Therese sending bizarre shit. I've started dreaming about you. We're making love in a cabin with a howling windstorm outside. The cabin starts to rip apart, but we don't care. We don't stop. We're sweating, groaning, screaming when the wind picks us up and spins us around and around. Wake up panting, on fire for you. What a strange fantasy. I mean, Twister did come out in 1996, so maybe she just really liked that movie. Trevor constantly emails you weird jokes. Allow me to read one for you. So these two leprechauns knock on the door of a church one day. The priest answers and says, "Can I help you, lads?" One leprechaun steps forward. His friend just sort of hangs back, looking worried. The first leprechaun says, "Father, are there any leprechaun nuns in this church?" And the priest says, "No, my son, there aren't." So the leprechaun says, "Father, are there any leprechaun nuns in this country?" And the priest says, "No, my son, I'm afraid not." So the leprechaun says, "Father, are there any leprechaun nuns in all of Ireland?" And the priest says, "No, my boy, there are not." So the leprechaun asks, "Father, are there any leprechaun nuns anywhere in the whole world?" And the priest says, "No, my friend, not one." The first leprechaun starts laughing wildly and jabbing his friend in the ribs. "Ha ha ha ha," he roared. "I told you, you boinked a penguin." I love whatever's wrong with Trevor. Then there's Jocelyn's emails. She's like, "Hi baby, I just wanted to let you know I'm thinking about you. Have a good morning, I love you." You as Curtis can choose how to respond to any of these emails. I find Jocelyn boring, so I said, "I'm sure it'll be a lovely morning. This is the best job in the world. I'm so happy I could just shit."
Oh, hey, Therese. How are you?
Horny.
Brother, what?
Let's cut the crap, Curtis. I find you very attractive.
Listen, Therese, I have a girlfriend.
I don't care about that.
Well, actually, Therese, you might be in luck because I just did force Curtis to tell his girlfriend that he could just shit, so, I mean, it could work out. As everyone in the office gets hornier for Curtis, so too do the seemingly delusional encounters. A voice of some kind mocks him and tells him that it's his fault that his mother went insane and ended her own life, despite the fact that he was only 6 years old when it happened. This leaves Curtis sweating and gasping in his cubicle.
Freak.
With these visions, or whatever they are, really starting to affect him, Trevor tells Curtis that he needs a little mental health breaky from work and takes him for lunch to talk.
Well, 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 the boys are playing hooky. Shame on you.
Shame isn't part of my vocabulary.
Well, it must be. You just said it.
See what happens when you waste a good line on a straight boy?
Curtis kind of chickens out and hesitates to tell Trevor what exactly has been going on in his head, fearing that he might sound a little bit wacky.
Curtis, for God's sake, I'm your best friend. You know you can talk to me, don't you?
I know, You remember how I told you about my mother going crazy and leaving my father and I alone?
Yeah.
It's not true. I mean, I thought it was, but until a few days ago, I remembered that she hung herself from our ceiling fan.
Jesus, man. That's harsh. No wonder you're so flipped out.
Trevor gets rightfully concerned for his best friend and very gently and considerately tries to recommend therapy, since what Curtis had been describing is obviously really heavy for anyone to deal with on their own. Curtis panics and says that he'd rather be dead than go back to the mental facility we saw in the beginning. Trevor reveals that he knows all about that whole episode and tries to calm him down, saying that just a regular old therapist would be a completely different experience than the mental facility.
You're not gonna tell anyone, are you?
Of course not, fool. Are you kidding? My own therapist has made me so close to perfect. I never tell secrets. I never tell lies. Hell, I don't even crap anymore. I just excrete rose petals from my belly button.
The rest of Curtis's day is spent being haunted by emails from hell, Therese trying to jump his bones, and Jocelyn talking about ducks.
We brought a loaf of stale bread to give to the ducks. And they all came. I never knew there could be so many ducks in one pond. And you ran from them.
Apparently, the Dreaming Tree is the only restaurant in town because Curtis eats here every day, at least twice a day. Jocelyn tells him over some milkshakes about how she really wants to be more official. She doesn't want Curtis to hide her away and wants to be with him always. She would really like for things to get more serious between them. Curtis's sleep paralysis demon, or whatever the hell is plaguing his brain, does not appreciate this subject matter, or perhaps it is enraged by the topic of ducks.
Kill that slut. Kill her like you killed your mother.
Before returning home with Jocelyn, he pays for the shakes and remembers that he has a business card for a therapist in his wallet that was given to him after his hospitalization. What happens with Jocelyn back at the apartment is considered unholy by YouTube standards, and we shan't discuss that kind of degeneracy here. There are full-blown perky nip-nops flapping around all over the screen, I'll leave it at that. Meanwhile, back at the office, Bob is apparently staying late, and it kinda seems like he's up to something.
Say goodbye to your hard drive, asshole.
When Curtis wakes up, Jocelyn isn't there, but there's some kind of blood or something on his towel. He had a weird dream about pulling her guts out, which I cannot show, not because of the disemboweling, but because of nudity. I also find it kind of funny how he seems to treat Blob the rat better than Jocelyn.
Hey, Miss Blob. Hey, pretty girl. Yeah, you're the prettiest rat in the world, aren't you? All right, just don't get cocky, huh?
Upon arriving to work, something is immediately not right. Everyone is standing around in the hallway looking distressed, and there are police officers present. Everyone is shocked and can barely tell Curtis that Bob has been murdered in the office. And not just anywhere in the office, specifically inside Curtis's cubicle. Bob was apparently badly beaten, stabbed with a variety of instruments, and even had his mouth stapled shut. Now, naturally, since Bob was murdered in Curtis's space, the lead detective of the case is going to have some questions for him, and she makes it pretty clear right off the bat that she's extremely suspicious of Curtis.
What was your relationship to the deceased man, Bob Arnold?
He was just my coworker.
Did you like Bob Arnold?
No.
Curtis insists that everyone in the office will tell her the same, that pretty much no one liked Bob. Tom, the kind and considerate manager, wants everyone to take a step away from the office for their mental health. The gang groups up and heads to, you guessed it, the Dreaming Tree restaurant.
Thanks for coming, everybody. A really tragic thing happened today. Tragic and horrible. If anybody should want to talk to a grief counselor, the company will make one available to you.
Tom leaves to go grab everyone some drinks. Trevor, the poor soul that found Bob, starts to feel sick and goes home. This leaves an awkward space for Curtis and his gaggle of blonde women to have a conversation. It's very apparent that there are some personality differences between Curtis and Jocelyn. Therese and Curtis make some edgy jokes about Bob's death, while Jocelyn finds it horrific. She eventually senses that Curtis is getting along better with Therese and storms off in a jealous fit. Therese takes advantage of her time alone with Curtis to take the opportunity to invite him to a club called The Borderline before leaving as well.
Where'd everybody go?
The next morning, Curtis has some more internal struggles and starts doubting himself and his own actions. This leads to some interesting scenes.
Hey, rat girl. I don't suppose you know what the hell's going on, huh?
Isn't it obvious? You're a psycho killer.
I didn't kill anyone.
Of course you did.
Caught dead. Leech therapy. Lobotomy is the answer. What the hell?
Curtis heads back to the office, which isn't really the best place for the prime suspect to be.
What do you think you're doing here?
I just came to pick up some work to take home.
Are you out of your mind? You can't take anything from a crime scene. Get out of here!
Using a different cubicle's phone, Curtis makes a fake phone call to Paul Warner, the boss man, to get him out of his office. Curtis's weird delusions really start ramping up and happen more and more often. Convinced that something weird is happening around Wintech, he pokes around the boss's office once again. And again, he gets caught. However, this time it's not waved off quite as easily.
I was just,
Let's say we cut the crap. You've been poking around in places you don't belong. Don't make the same mistakes your father made, boy. I would hate to have to lose you.
Yeah, that is definitely a threat. Also, Curtis's father used to work at Wintech. Using a key found in Paul's desk drawer, Curtis can finally make his way inside the suspicious tiny door inside the storage side room. The room makes him trip balls, and he finds a toolbox. Inside of the toolbox is a file labeled Threshold and a dress that Curtis takes a piece of lace from. The file contains a letter from Paul Warner addressed to Curtis's father. It states that the military has pulled funding on the company's, quote, Threshold project, and that the FBI will be investigating them. The letter warns Curtis's father that he needs to handle the investigation in a certain way. It says, "You knew that there would be great sacrifice involved in gaining this great knowledge. I'm getting a little tired of your tortured conscience routine routine. You are in this just as deeply as the rest of us. You must remain calm and keep everything having to do with Threshold in the strictest confidentiality. What the fuck is happening at Wintech? Curtis decides to go ahead and call the number on the business card in his wallet for a psychologist. Things are just getting a little bit too weird and he needs someone to talk to. Dr. Harburg's office is one of my favorite locations in the game because, number one, it's where a lot of the most interesting conversations happen, and number two, I just think the lighting in these scenes is neat.
Look, no offense, but I am not very comfortable with this. Being here makes me feel like some kind of a wacko or something.
You're not a wacko, Curtis. There's no stigma attached to analysis anymore. Your brain is just like any other part of your body, and when it isn't feeling well, not only is it okay to get help, but it's smart.
That's right, therapy is indeed just another tool to stay healthy. I've been to a ton of therapy myself, and it's really helped me grow and mature as a person. Not to get serious on you guys, but if you're struggling with mental health but view therapy as something negative, please know that it can really be extremely beneficial and it's not weird to go. Curtis opens up a bit to Dr. Harburg about how his mother used to treat him, and forewarning, I know I already said this, but the therapist conversations can really start getting into some topics that might be uncomfortable, so proceed with caution.
She started hating me when I was about 6.
Get out of my sight!
Oh, Curtis, that was her problem, not yours.
It's not fair, you know? I don't remember any of the good stuff. I don't remember my mother ever hugging me or kissing me or just hitting me. I remember when she killed herself.
He tells the doctor a bit about his current relationships, how he does like Jocelyn, but he just feels the need to keep her a secret. Then we get a very, very interesting conversation.
I've been keeping our relationship at work a secret.
Are you in love with Jocelyn?
Yeah, I think so. But I'm kind of attracted to Trevor.
It was the leprechaun penguin joke that sealed the deal, wasn't it? Bisexual icon Curtis Craig. He explains to the doctor that even when he and Jocelyn are physically intimate together, he just doesn't feel close to her.
I don't think I felt totally close to anyone.
Then Curtis goes on for a while about how Therese is also super hot. He explains that he and Jocelyn agreed that the relationship would not be exclusive from the start, but that he feels guilty for thinking about meeting Therese at the club anyway. The doctor asks why he was hospitalized a year ago, and he tells her that he felt his identity had come undone like rotten lace. That one minute he knew who he was, and the next he didn't know himself at all. Therese constantly makes bondage references to Curtis and even sends him letters and pictures of that nature. He tells the doctor that he really likes these images, and she asks him why. His response is strangely kind of beautiful.
I feel like the person in the picture is somehow being held together. Like they can't come apart with all that stuff holding them in.
Okay, I know that this psychology segment goes on for a really long time, and there's actually a lot more to it, so I'm just gonna wrap it up here. Curtis tells Dr. Harburg that he thinks that Wintech is up to something insidious, and instead of just completely writing him off as crazy, she tells him that weirder things have happened, that corporations have been caught doing bad things plenty of times before, so it's not necessarily unreasonable for him to think that they're up to something. The last important thing that they talk about is once again Curtis's mother. She apparently hated him so much that she wanted him to be literally anyone but Curtis. She would dress him in different styles of clothing, including dresses, to try to make him someone else.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how I dress you, you'd still be a monster.
He asks the doctor if this has any role in his attraction to Trevor. The doctor tells him that orientation is just a part of people. You're born how you're born, and you like who you like. This is an insanely ahead of its time way to deal with this subject matter. Whether this kind of story resonates with you personally or not, you have to recognize how unique this kind of handling of the subject was for the time, especially in video games. Just purely from a writing standpoint, I find it really interesting that these characters were written so differently, especially for a game, from other characters of the time. Remember that this came out in 1996, a time where this kind of topic was usually treated as the butt of a joke. But here, in Phantasmagoria 2, a game that deeply looks at identity, it's treated pretty seriously. And none of these topics are just thrown in there to be shoved into the game, they really do come full circle. A lot of thought went into writing these characters this way. After the appointment, Curtis heads to the Borderline Club to meet Therese. Turns out this isn't just any old dancing club. It's actually an S&M club, and it is particularly adult in nature. And the music is banging. My favorite part of the Borderline is this cool long-haired guy that keeps random people from going into this section of the club. He's kind of like the club's version of the water cooler. You get an absurd amount of opportunities to interact with him.
Get away from there. You have no business going into the pit.
Oh boy, I can't wait to try that 53 more times. Therese makes it very clear to Curtis that this is indeed a freaky sex club. He tries to tell her that he wants to be serious with Jocelyn, and she's like, cool, you should bring her along, she's cute, we could make it work. Then Curtis gets his belly button pierced live on stage in front of everyone at the club. It's kind of symbolic of him really turning over to allowing himself to commit to this kind of lifestyle before he relentlessly smashes Therese in the bathroom. The next morning, Curtis's belly button is a little bit sore, and he has some interesting bruises and marks across his body from his wild night of passion. Before heading to work, he checks his mail, and there's a lovely little reference to the first game.
Bridget's Books is proud to welcome best-selling author Adrienne Delaney. Ms. Delaney will be signing copies of her latest book, Coping with Loss. She's pretty.
Oh my god, we get it, Curtis, you love blonde women. Curtis kind of figures that he'd have the day off, what with the whole Bob situation, but Paul calls him into work anyway. Upon arriving at the office, he sees Paul and the detective having a big fight. Apparently, Paul had Curtis's cubicle cleaned out for him to get right back to being a busy little worker bee. The detective does not appreciate potential evidence being tampered with. The workday begins, and there's the usual emails from everyone around the office. My personal favorite is Therese horny posting just for Curtis to respond with, "You should try your hand at writing romance novels. I was surprised you didn't mention anything about my monolithic tower of manhood." Calling Bob's cubicle is fun.
You murdered me.
This is Curtis.
Don't hang up on me, you murdering psycho son of a bitch.
If you make Curtis call himself again, it's a bit more sinister than it was earlier.
Hello, this is Curtis Craig, and I'm...
Hello, Curtis.
Who is this?
Sorry, man, I can't talk right now. I'm right in the middle of disemboweling somebody.
A new workday also means more check-ins with everyone at their desks. Alright, let's get this over fast. Roll call. Trevor? He's happy that Curtis went to see a therapist and is getting help. He's quite supportive of his dear friend.
Dr. Harburg. I'm gonna see her again today. Cool.
Therese still wants more of the monolithic tower of manhood, and she also gets a fun, spooky scene.
Curtis, are you okay?
Bob is still dead. Jocelyn is kind of suspicious that Curtis wasn't able to be reached by phone the previous night. Curtis lies and tells her that he just fell asleep. Then it's time for 3 trips to the water cooler just for fun, because I can. Hydrate yourself. In addition to Paul having wiped the cubicle clean, he's been sending some emails stating that if Curtis keeps sticking his nose where it doesn't belong, that he'll be dealt with. Curtis is explicitly banned from certain areas of the building, and the tiny little door has been sealed up. There are some threats floating around that if he keeps snooping, he could be forcibly sent back to the mental facility by Paul. He also has some recollection that his father was threatened as well. All of these events cause Curtis to trip out and hallucinate that he's hospitalized again.
Nurse.
Come on in there, puppy.
Nurse, what am I doing? Why am I here? I don't belong here.
Shut up, wacko.
Most of the portrayals of other patients in the facility are, well, you know. Here's a compilation.
Happy birthday, baby. Ah! Pizza, pizza, pizza. Yeah.
No, sick. Sick and wrong.
Disco dance, disco dance, disco dance.
Hey, look, that's the lady that played the gnome in the first game.
For you, oh vile rat.
And this person here is Lorelei Shannon, the writer of the whole game.
No, no, no.
Curtis causes a distraction to escape the nightmare version of the mental facility. He starts coming to in his cubicle, and all of the coworkers gather around to make sure that he's all right. They tell him that he looks pale and very shaken up. Tom is concerned and gets really upset that any of them are expected to be in the office just one day after Bob's brutal murder.
This is ridiculous. I don't give a damn what Paul said. I want you all to go home. Right now.
This, of course, brings Curtis to one of 2 apparent buildings in town, the Dreaming Tree restaurant, where Trevor is enjoying a milkshake.
I think I'll have a baked potato.
Trevor had been telling Curtis about how he'd been having delayed nerves from the Bob situation when the mention of a potato causes him to remember a strange story about his Aunt Emily that lived in the deserts of Arizona.
She always tosses her dinner leftovers outside for the poor little woodland creatures, you know?
Woodland? Yeah, I thought you lived in the desert.
Shut up, my story.
He extravagantly recalls the time that his aunt yeeted a huge, musty old potato out the window for the animals and somehow managed to hit a rabbit right between the ears.
I've never seen a bunny rabbit jump that high in my life.
You think that's funny? That poor rabbit is probably in therapy right now. God.
However, this silly little conversation was merely a calm before the storm.
Trev, seriously, have you ever had really horrible thoughts?
Well, like what?
Like wanting to kill someone? Trev, I wanted to kill Bob. Every time he laughed at me, I just wanted to fucking kill him.
Yeah. Everybody feels that way once in a while, man. Don't worry about it, huh?
All things considered with the whole Bob situation, Trevor is clearly shaken up a little bit about what Curtis just said, but he supports and reassures him anyway. Back at home, Curtis tinkers some more with the toolbox he found behind the tiny door and finds a hidden letter from his father. The letter warns that if his father is dead, that it was definitely Wintech that killed him. It says that the Threshold Project isn't inherently evil, but in the hands of Paul Warner, it is. His father quit the job after realizing that people were dying, and he knew that this could get him murdered. Then it's time to head to Dr. Harburg for another therapy appointment.
I'm okay, Doc.
No, I can't help you if you lie to me.
Fine, I think I'm losing my goddamn mind.
Have a seat.
Here, Curtis continues saying kind of concerning things.
Doctor, I think I might have killed Bob. I don't remember doing it, but I can't get the idea out of my head. I hated him. I wished he were dead so many times.
Well, that's highly unlikely, Curtis. Homicidal blackouts are extremely rare. Have faith in yourself. Do you really think that you could do something like that?
Maybe.
He proceeds to tell her that he thinks that the Threshold Project is back in full swing and that Wintech is evil. The doctor tells him to remember to keep his suspicions, imagination, and actual evidence clear in his mind. Curtis expresses that he has been really enjoying his time with Therese physically and kind of recognizes that some of the things he's interested in don't align perfectly with society's expectations.
This is gonna sound really twisted, but sometimes I wish I could just live with Jocelyn and Trevor both. You know, somewhere far away where no one would judge us and we wouldn't have to see another person.
Many people have fantasies like that, Curtis. Just because it isn't standard behavior in our society doesn't make it wrong.
A polyamorous icon. The doctor asks if his dad ever tried to protect Curtis from his mother. He says that he did, but he never tried hard enough to actually stop it. He says that his mother hurt him, and hurt him very badly. In addition to all of the psychological torment, she would beat him and even electrocute him. Clearly, his mother was severely mentally unwell, and it causes him to wonder if he inherited whatever mental illness she had. Disturbed by this possibility, he kind of crashes out about it, and he ends up uncovering a repressed memory of his father not actually dying in a car accident, but rather being thrown out of a car and then shot, presumably, of course, by Wintech. After the session, Curtis heads back to the restaurant to try and relax. Bro spends so much time at this restaurant, he's gonna have to start paying rent. The waiter notices that Curtis seems kind of upset and tries to comfort him with a relatable story.
You know, when my hamster Louie died, I'd have these nightmares where he'd come in through my window at night, only he was like the size of a pit bull, and he'd be drooling and he'd singing, "Who do you love?"
Brother, what? When Curtis does finally head home for the evening, it appears that someone has broken into his apartment. It's Therese!
I didn't come here to talk.
Well, what did you come here to do?
Maybe she wants to play Fall Guys or something. Oh my! Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just skip over this scene lest a certain platform that you're currently using publicly executes me. During the sexcapade, Tom is staying late at the office to write a strongly worded email to Wintech about how their treatment of employees through the Bob situation has been unacceptable. His computer starts to malfunction and the monitor flickers on and off. He takes a look-see under the desk to see if anything's up with the wiring. Curtis wakes up to the detective saying, "Ding dong, bitch, where the hell were you last night?" He's like, "Damn, woman, calm down. I was with Therese all night." She then asks where she went.
I don't know.
Craig, I said, where is she now?
I don't know. She probably went home. I don't know where she lives.
Why don't you know where your girlfriend lives, Mr. Craig?
All of, well, everything has the detective extremely suspicious of Curtis. She asks if he might know anyone that could possibly have it out for Tom, but she clearly thinks it's him. He tells her that the previous day, Tom and Paul were arguing about how the employees were forced to come to work so soon after Bob's murder.
You know what, Craig? I think there's something badly wrong with you. I'd love to haul your psycho ass in, but unfortunately, I don't have enough evidence. Yet. Christ, you're screwed up. If you're guilty, Craig, I'll find you. No matter where you are, no matter how big a rock you crawl under. Hello? Do you hear me?
At this point in the story, Curtis really starts to lose it. He's hallucinating pretty much all of the time.
Hey, what are you chewing on, Blob?
Want some?
I know Blob can't talk. And she never did anything to anyone, so you leave her alone!
Like, the guy can't even check his mail for the day at this point without having a meltdown.
Dear Curtis, I hate you. You killed me. Your very existence was so unnatural and repulsive
that it drove me to my grave. I should have killed you when I had the chance. I'm coming for you, and this time, I'm taking you with me.
A lot of the random hallucinations are kind of creepy, but some of them are just straight up funny and weird. Despite his deteriorating mental state, Curtis decides to visit Wintech anyway. This pisses the detective the fuck off.
I'm trying to find out who killed Bob and Tom.
My ass. Get out of here, now.
Look, detective, there's some kind of company conspiracy behind all this. I think Wintech is experimenting on its employees with hallucinogenic drugs. I think they've...
Do go on. It all sounds perfectly logical to me.
You're a real case, you know that? You make Charles Manson sound reasonable.
Look, detective, you have to listen to me.
I don't have to listen to Dick.
"I don't have to listen to Dick" is the best line in the game. Trevor is not dealing with the fact that a second murder has hit the office very well. He's quite depressed and expresses that he really liked Tom, not just as a manager, but as a person. The last time he and Curtis spoke, Curtis was saying some wacky shit, and it's got Trevor a little bit nervous.
I think you need to get out of town for a while. I mean, you're obviously freaked by everything that's happened, and Curtis, I know that cop has you down as a suspect. I think you need to be gone before the next one.
The next... What, murder? What makes you think there's gonna be another one?
Well, I don't know. Call it spidey sense.
Trevor tries really hard to keep his faith in Curtis, and even entertains his conspiracy about Wintech being the evil cause of all of these problems.
Look, Curtis, we'll uncover the dark secret of the terrible threshold, and then you go somewhere and veg out in the sun, okay?
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Curtis, I just want you to know that I'm your friend. Always. No matter what.
And with that, it's time for therapy again.
Hello, Curtis. What's bothering you today?
Everything.
Curtis and Dr. Harburg discuss the murder of Tom. He gets extremely paranoid that she knows about the murder before he tells her and asks if Wintech has been stalking him. She explains that she knows about the murder because the detective had come in earlier to ask her about things. The doctor insists that with Curtis's paranoia, he needs to stop keeping things from her. He admits to her that he's been experiencing hallucinations and hearing things. She suggests that he may need further evaluation, and he flips his shit and screams that he refuses to go back to the facility before storming out of the office.
Patient Curtis Craig has just experienced a psychotic episode. Marked with severe paranoia and irrational anger.
There's a really fun Easter egg you can get for this scene by clicking the degree on the wall and typing Batman. Behold.
Severe paranoia and irrational anger. Next.
Cut. Okay, Ref.
Jocelyn visits Curtis at his apartment and literally goes, "Hey, I'm really sad about Tom getting murdered. Could you please stick it in me?" Curtis starts to undress and she sees the scratches from Therese all over him, gets pissed off, says they deserve each other, and leaves. Then I got Darkseid PTSD because she leaves behind a hairpin that you can very easily miss. Women do, in fact, mark their territory with hairpins, by the way. This is a fact. As a master of unlocking, Curtis takes the pin with him to break into Paul's office to snoop once again. On Paul's computer, Curtis receives an email from Trevor, who had promised to look into the company for him. He tells him that he wasn't able to up his clearance to get into the rest of the building, but he does provide Paul's personal password so that he can up the clearance himself. Trevor very much seems to acknowledge the risk in doing this.
Gotcha, you son of a bitch.
Such language, Curtis. I should have washed your mouth out with soap.
Get away from me.
While I was upping Curtis's clearance within the company, I decided to bump everyone else's up too, just for fun, as a little treat. This doesn't do anything, but it made me feel better. Yippee! Now our card gets us into the rest of the building, where the game's conclusion starts to happen. As Curtis wanders through the underbelly of the Wintech building, he sees things that look familiar and trigger flashbacks, almost like he had been here before as a child. These flashbacks are unpleasant. People are being used and abused, with his father and Paul at the center of it. It is very heavily implied that Paul is taking patients from the mental facility Curtis was held at and using them for his threshold experiments, with references to some kind of portal closing. Perhaps the strangest of the flashbacks is Curtis's father holding him wrapped in a blanket while looking extremely distressed. During this segment of the game, there's a little bit of tension because if you fuck up, Paul catches you and Curtis dies.
Come along, Curtis. We've kept your room just as you left it.
In the deepest part of the building, things start to look real sci-fi. Curtis sits down at some kind of console with a trillion buttons and contacts some kind of something that wants live adult human creatures to manufacture a chemical compound. These beings also mention something about a twin, saying that they're part of it and it is part of them, and they're concerned if the twin is okay. But we'll have to worry more about that later. For now, Therese beckons with her seductive words.
Oh, how's your belly button?
She slinks off to the back of the club. You know, the area that's guarded by the guy that you can keep pestering by trying to go back there.
Look, Therese just went in there. She told me to follow her.
I seriously doubt it, white bread.
To prove that you belong with Therese and thus are worthy to uncover the secrets of the long-haired man's mystery door, you can show him a letter that she sent you.
All right, go ahead. Hope you survive the night, little man.
This prompts a particularly explicit scene between Therese and Curtis, and then a bunch of people come out of nowhere to clap about it. My, that applause is thunderous. The two split ways and then, well, our first non-office murder happens. Therese is freshening up in the borderline bathroom when tragedy strikes. She hears a strange sound and goes to investigate.
Who's there?
Unfortunately, the club's loud music drowns out her screams, and even the people who do hear her just assume that something kinda freaky is going on in the bathroom, since that's kinda normal around these parts. The scene is maybe a little bit graphic for YouTube, so I won't show the entire thing, but basically Therese gets battered so badly that there's a pool of blood beneath her, and then some electricity gets added to the puddle, and she gets fried in her own blood. Pretty brutal. The detective could not possibly arrive at Curtis's apartment faster, and she's like, alright, that's fucking it, you're in trouble now, mister. Therese has been murdered. Curtis is shocked by this reveal for a moment, but then almost just kind of doesn't give a shit.
What the hell are you looking at?
Oh, I think my rat got loose.
Better find it before I do.
Like, dude, you just got told that Therese was murdered and you're the prime suspect, but you kinda just wanna look around for your rat. He finds Blob, puts her back, and the conversation carries on more like normal.
What happened?
Oh, I think you know.
Damn it, I didn't kill her!
I think you did, asshole. It's just a matter of time before you're arrested. I just hope to God it happens before you slaughter somebody else.
Curtis tries telling the detective that actually Paul is the evil person in this situation and tries to blame him for all of the murders. It kinda comes off a little bit conspiracy adjacent, and the detective doesn't take it well. Curtis seems to have a little bit of an impending sense of doom about the whole situation.
I love you, Blob. And no matter what, I'll make sure someone takes good care of you.
Check out this dark Brotherhood-ass piece of mail Curtis gets for the day. Bro has a breakdown with everything weighing down on him and calls Dr. Harburg. He panics over the phone, saying that he needs an appointment to see her immediately because Paul and the mental health facility are all out to get him. The way he expresses this is very paranoid and worked up. He legit kinda sounds like a crazy person.
Could you alert security? One of my patients is on his way over, and I believe he's in the middle of a psychotic episode. But please, don't have him intercepted. Just ask security to be ready if I call, all right?
The doctor is convinced that Curtis is having an episode and is genuinely concerned for everyone's safety given their past conversations. As she goes to hang up the phone, though, she notices something strange.
Oh, shit. Oh, Merrick. Oh, you spying son of a bitch!
With solid proof of the facility spying on Curtis, she acknowledges that he must be right.
He's mine!
Dr. Harburg?
Unfortunately for Dr. Harburg, she came to believe Curtis a bit too late.
Beautiful work, Curtis. Just spectacular.
The good doctor is truly your masterpiece.
I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I wasn't even here.
You didn't use your hands,
Curtis, you don't have to. You used your mind. Your diseased, twisted,
murderous mind.
Get it. Get that thing. Oh boy.
Curtis distracts and pushes over the security guard before darting to the door to escape. He heads straight back to Wintech where the hallucinations are in full swing. Not even the water cooler is safe anymore. At his cubicle, he comes face to face with another disturbing entity.
What do you want from me?
I only want you to be happy, Curtis. You've nearly lost your mind, haven't you? You'd be so much more at ease if you just give up the battle. You'll be well taken care of in the asylum.
Get away from me!
I gotta say, that face staring at you through the monitor screen is genuinely creepy. A frantic email from Trevor says to forget Wintech and get out now.
Trev, you scared the crap out of me.
Curtis, listen. I've been delving deep into the company network. Just leave it alone, man. It's bad.
I can't, Trev. I can't let it go.
You don't get it, Curtis. I gave myself top clearance. I saw.
Trevor tells Curtis all about how the company has been doing a plethora of illegal things and that he knows for a fact that they've killed people before.
I'm going to the cops. No job is worth this. But Curtis, I want you to stay out of it. I don't want you to get hurt. Curtis, you know I love you.
Trevor, no! Why must everything I love always die? This done genuinely fucked me up. Just look at how I saved my game after this scene. The creature makes it pretty clear that it is the one that killed Trevor, and presumably everyone else at this point too. It mocks Curtis, and he does his best to resist it. Full of determination to take out this creature once and for all, Curtis heads back to the basement with a vengeance. Once again, communication through the basement computer has some kind of being requesting live humans. That's when Paul catches up.
What the hell was I just talking to, Paul?
Creatures from Dimension X, of course.
Ah, yes, of course, Dimension X. I should have known. Paul is like, yeah, I killed your dad. He was way too much of a complainer. Wah, we can't use live human subjects. Wah, it's immoral. What a fucking baby. To Paul, the ends justify the means. Then Paul says something very unsettling.
You know, it's a good thing your dear old dad never knew he didn't really get his little boy back. He'd have lost his nerve much sooner.
What are you talking about?
Don't you remember? I threw poor little Curtis in there, but he never came out.
The fuck you mean Curtis went in and never came back out? Then who the hell is this? In a shocking twist, it turns out that protagonist Curtis is actually not the protagonist at all. He is a mere clone that the aliens refer to as the twin. He was spit back out of the portal into the human world for, I don't know, alien science, I guess. Paul explains that twin Curtis has been watched like a bug in a jar since this incident. The clone Curtis started remembering and realizing that he didn't quite fit into the human world a year ago, which is when he was sent to the hospital for closer evaluation. Curtis is like, well, damn, that's crazy. What the hell? Anyway, I'm actually here to get the sumbitch that got Trevor.
Where is he?
Do allow me to introduce myself. Curtis Craig, at your service.
Oh, fuck, it's the real Curtis. Oh, it's been him the whole time. What a twist. He explains that in the Threshold world, he's been existing non-stop. He hasn't slept in 20 years, and his body has become a mangled amalgamation of rotting alien pieces to stay alive in the other world. He's been watching our Curtis the entire time. What we see now, as before, is just a hologram of him, but his real actual body lies in wait in Dimension X. His goal is to break twin Curtis's mind so that he can have a nice, non-messed up Curtis body to get back to his life. Now, this is a particularly unfun dynamic because what we have here is an innocent child that was yeeted into a portal against his will and tormented for 20 years straight in an alternate dimension. Then he slowly decayed into a rotting pile of alien meat and thus had to use a hologram to do his bidding. In an interview with Lorelei Shannon, she pointed out that the alien dimension was particularly difficult for Curtis to live in because the aliens communicate in a hive mind telepathically. This means Curtis would not be able to fit into that society no matter how hard he tried. Curtis can't communicate telepathically with them, and that means he was basically alone the entire time, at least in terms of being able to connect with anyone. This is a really interesting parallel to twin Curtis, who also seemed to have a very difficult time connecting with most people that exist in our human world. And when he does manage to connect, it's with people outside of the social norm. Once again, the main theme of Phantasmagoria 2 to me is identity. The horror of being yourself, especially in a world that doesn't understand you. Now, original Curtis is obviously in an awful situation. It makes perfect sense that he would do desperate things to get back home. Ask yourself, if you were in his little Dimension X shoes, would you kill a random office full of people to break your clone's mind so that you could go home after 20 years of torment? You might.
Say goodbye to your sanity.
To escape his alternate self electrocuting him with his cruel mother's severed head, Curtis reaches over to the control panel to open the Threshold Project portal and jumps inside. This brings him to Dimension X. Dimension X, while very different looking, is a pretty gameplay-heavy segment where you do puzzles that sometimes don't make very much sense. In fact, you could say they seem alien. This is the worst part of the game, according to me and literally anyone that's ever played this game. After some exploring and trial and error, you find Curtis's original body. He gets mad and shocks Twin Curtis into one final mental gauntlet in a desperate attempt to break him for good. This mental trial takes him to random places in his memories, but like messed up versions of them. He has to mentally face Dr. Merrick at the hospital, Jocelyn being so possessive of him that she pulls a gun, and a really cool alternate set for the office where everything is all spooky. And hey, all the office boys get together for a little reunion.
Trev? Curtis. I've decided to take you up on that kiss.
Okay, that's kind of sad with Trevor, but hey! Bob and Tom are here too, and it's kind of cool to see them as freaky little zombies. Just look at them go.
Get away from me! Come a little closer, rat boy. You've got something in your eye.
Evil Therese electrocutes him and literally gives him the old Kali Ma and rips his heart out. And the Mental Olympics final boss, of course, is Mom. Mom threatens young clone Curtis and tells him to come over because she has something for him. Behind her back, of course, she's hiding some large shears. This game almost turned into Clock Tower. In an actually really sad scene, instead of meeting her with fear, he hugs her and tells her that despite everything, he loves her. In a messed up turn of events, she was right the whole time that this little alien weirdo wasn't actually her child. The way she treated him, of course, was wrong and evil, but he forgives her for not understanding how to accept him. This pulls him out of the mental trial, effectively defeating the original Curtis's attempt to break his mind to take the body back. Then it's bye-bye original Curtis. He is now forever free of his amalgamation of flesh, his puzzle of flesh, if you will. This is the worst puzzle in the game. I hate it. Completing it opens the portal back to the Earth dimension. With the murderous, evil original Curtis destroyed, and Paul destroyed, Clone Curtis's mission is complete. He heads back through the portal and somehow Jocelyn appears in the control room and is like, "Don't worry, Curtis, I know about everything. I know what you are and I love you anyway." The aliens through the control panel are like, "Yo, Clone Twin needs to come back. He is not of Earth and cannot stay there." From here, there are two options, and each option comes with its own ending. These endings are shockingly short, actually. In the first ending, Curtis notices that Paul is actually still alive. He spends one final day in the human world with Jocelyn before heading back into the portal, knowing that he just simply doesn't belong on Earth. He also presumably takes Paul with him, as after the credits, you see this. In the second ending, Curtis stays with Jocelyn and all of the murders are pinned on Paul, who still ends up as a head in Dimension X.
Oh, you're gonna love the bikini I got. It is so tiny, I swear, it's this big. Oh, and I picked up some really strong sunblock because I know how you burn. Oh, it's gonna be wonderful. Blue Mediterranean seas, sun-washed beaches. Oh, you're not gonna regret this, Curtis. I promise.
In this ending, Curtis, as usual, seems a bit bored by the mundane and very normal human Jocelyn, someone that he never truly connected with. His warping hand reminds us that he truly is not meant for this dimension. Will he continue warping into an alien? Who knows? I don't really get why Jocelyn knows everything. Maybe she's a plant to keep an eye on Curtis from the company or something? I'm not sure. But that is the story of Phantasmagoria 2: A Puzzle of Flesh. For some final thoughts, this is one of my favorite games of all time. I really like it a lot. It is flawed, and it's a major departure from the first game. It's weird, but I love it anyway. A lot of people criticize the game for falling apart towards the end. I can agree that the Dimension X area is not the most fun to play through, but I actually really like how the game ends. It's insane that we went on a ride from a mundane 9-to-5 office setting checking emails to all of that. I think that the parallels and the dynamic between the two Curtises is really interesting, and I think that the themes and the way that this game presents them, while not always perfect, are really, really interesting. Themes of true identity versus conformity, desire versus repression, and control versus submission. There's of course also themes of corporations treating humans as disposable, but it's those identity themes that really stand out to me. It's really fascinating that Phantasmagoria 2 not only took on these narrative themes, but that it did so early on in the gaming world. My favorite kind of horror is psychological, so it's always a treat for me when games dig into very human topics like Phantasmagoria 2 did. I myself am a bit of a strange person, so all of these themes of not quite fitting in are really interesting to me. If you enjoyed this video, I have plenty of others for you to check out. Horror game retrospectives are a regular occurrence around here, so if you want to see more in the future, consider subscribing. If you have any suggestions for games you'd like to see covered in the future, feel free to leave a suggestion below. Any likes and comments help out the channel a lot. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.